Welcome back, everybody, to the Rob and Ace and Rob show. I'm Ace. Is with me always is Rob. Again, before we get started, like, subscribe, hit all those YouTube buttons. We're going to talk about a bit of a touchy subject for a lot of guys out there, stepfathers. And Rob, why don't you start us off with this?
Okay, so the reason I wanted to bring this up is because I got into not necessarily an argument, but a bit of a debate with I'm gonna say a table of modern feminists.
Okay, so you were in hell, and what else happened?
And it was the 4th of July holiday weekend, and there was people were drinking.
Okay,
But it wasn't anything crazy. There was no shots fired or anything like that. But I did touch on, like, a lot of questions are asked, and it was a mostly female table, and a lot of questions were asked about, like, why men are like this and why men are like that, and it's funny. It's not that different from what you might see sometimes on Fresh and Fit. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I got into the topic of how a lot of what you hear from men in terms of the stuff that just women just can't stand, like really toxic men, or like why women go back to these abusers or whatever, stems from us being mammals. And what it is that obviously we're more evolved than lions and gorillas,
Some of us.
but there are certain instincts that we still have in us that humans are the only mammals that go against this particular instinct. And I explained to them, because long story short, one of these women was talking about a friend of theirs whose current boyfriend or husband abuses the kids of her previous relationship. So now she doesn't have custody of the kids anymore, and her ex-husband or ex-boyfriend, who her baby's father, has custody of the kids because the new man abuses the kids. And
Makes sense.
I said, that's terrible. That's a horrible thing. But if you're wondering where that comes from, it comes from very animalistic instincts. I'm not saying these guys are good guys, but they are in extreme touch with this animalistic side of themselves, where when a lion takes over a pride, when a lion mates with a lioness, if she already has cubs from a previous lion, he kills those cubs.
Or they get abandoned, yeah.
Right. I said it stems from that, and then it just became this argument. I was just like, well, listen, a guy doesn't benefit at all from raising another man's kids, and it's an existential nightmare for men, in fact, to find out that the baby isn't his. You know what I mean? Like, and they were disagreeing on that. And they were like, it's not so much that things start getting heated, and I'm like, listen, if a guy's getting chumped, he's getting chumped. It's what it is. And they're like, no, they're doing the whole he's the father that stepped up argument. And I was like, listen, if I have to pay this kid's way and this kid is not genetically mine, then I should have at least some authority over the kid, right? And they're like, no, you can't tell this you can't discipline the kid. It's not your kid. I'm like, well, then why do I have to pay a dime out of my pocket for any part of this kid's future or well-being? You know what I mean?
These women are making bad points.
Right. That's the thing.
And they're causing exactly what you're pointing out. These women are the reason that men are scared to be stepfathers. Because what you said is logical. If I'm going to take over responsibility as the stepped-in father, that's what a stepfather is. You're stepping in as the father.
Right.
Then I should be doing everything that a father should be doing, which includes discipline.
Exactly.
If I'm not able to do that, then I'm not this kid's stepfather. I'm just the guy in the house.
I'm just a financier.
Yeah. Like, I'll give you a prime example.
That's why I came to you, because I was like, he's going to have a much better way of illustrating what I think these idiots are trying to say.
I'm pretty much a stepdad as it is.
Right.
Me and my girl have been together for over 2.5 years. We live together. And you know this story, but I'll share it. Story time with Ace, like always. When I first moved in, my girlfriend has he was 16 at the time, 16-year-old son, and her daughter was 6 or 7. When I moved in, we had been dating for a while. They knew who I was. I've been around the house. I've been around both of them. So it wasn't like a whirlwind type of situation where who is this guy sleeping in mommy's bed type of situation. So obviously, a 16-year-old boy, he's pretty much done at that point. There's nothing I can really do. I can't discipline him because number one, he's had a father. In her situation, he didn't really have a living father because jail and all that nonsense. But he's had a father figure that he's looked up to for 16 years. This new guy is not going to tell him what to do. He's not going to be respectful of that because he's already almost a grown ass man.
Right.
The daughter is 7. So when she's doing something, I say something about it. When she's out of pocket, I say something about it. Just like I would my own son. Just like I would literally almost any kid that's out of pocket, because that's what you should do as an adult, but that's besides the point. I remember when he was being super disrespectful to his mom, and his mom was ready to kick him out of the house. I tried to step in. He got angry with me, and I disciplined him physically, which means he was no longer in this house because she and people were gonna like, oh, you can't do that. Like you just said, you can't do that. That's not your kid. Bullshit. If I'm paying the lion's shares of the bills, if I'm doing all the things a father is supposed to do, just like if it was my own son and he was disrespecting his mom, I'm going to do the exact same thing to him. Because that's what you do as a father. It's not always the easy job. It's the job you do. And like you said, it's a lot of times stepfathers do get suckered. That's one point we're going to have this debate throughout the show, but that's one point I do agree with you, because a lot of guys don't go into stepfatherhood knowing or being aware of the pitfalls of it. It's like we always say on this podcast, choices have consequences. If you choose to be a stepdad, it's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows. Like if you and that woman split up, you may never see those kids again.
Right.
You may have formed a large attachment to them and never see them again.
Right.
And you ain't getting a dime of that money back that you spent on them for years.
And depending on the state, and it's a lot of states, like most of them, you're going to have to pay child support on a kid that the state knows and has known is not your kid, because you enter the marriage contract knowing that they have kids. It becomes also an adoption.
Depends. Yeah, it
enjoy
depends
getting
on
fleeced.
The circumstances. It does depend on the circumstances. If it's your horror story that you've told a long time, a lot of times on this podcast. If you are married to a woman, she cheats on you and has a baby by another dude, and you don't find out till about age 5 that you've already signed the birth certificate, that's your kid now.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. Like the courts are not going to care that this woman's a hoe and she fucked you over. You got to take care of that kid because you signed on to do it. The only other option you have is a lengthy legal process, and the other dude has to admit and be willing to take over. If he says no at any point, you're stuck.
Good luck.
Yeah, exactly my point. That's what I'm saying. So, but again, you can't really. I don't like to dwell on those because you can't plan for that. You can't stop that from happening. The only thing you can do is take precautions.
Oh, I disagree.
You can take precautions, like you can get your baby tested, but that's it.
Oh, no. I have a way different plan.
Never get married. That's the only thing.
No, avoid single moms.
I'm not even talking about, but that wasn't my scenario. I wasn't talking about single mom. I'm talking about, let's say you get married. While married, your woman cheats on you. You think you got her pregnant, but some other dude knocked her up. The only protection you have against that is a paternity test.
Oh, I'm getting that.
Yeah, that's it.
There's
no way to know, other hand, because I'm assuming you're still having sex with her. So how do you know that you didn't get her pregnant?
Right. And I have no qualms about it. And that is something I have disclosed. I said, I don't care how long I'm together with someone. I'm going to be happy. But even as a point of pride, I'm going to get a paternity test. Even if I'm 100% sure the kid is mine, I want that test and I want the results. And if I'm happy about it and I get those, I'll frame it. I'll be like, check it out. That's my damn kid. You know what I mean?
Well, and they do that now. They made it easier for guys. I will give, doctors a lot of credit because they can do the paternity test way before the baby is born.
Nice.
And they can do it during like an examination. They can like pretty much, take whatever fluid they need. And then within a couple of days, you'll know. So it's not like it was back in the day. We had to wait till the baby is born and swab their mouth and do all that stuff. So they have made it much easier. Like I knew well before, and it wasn't even a situation where I asked. I just like it was brought up, and I was happy about it. Either way, I was fine with it. Of course, my kid came out looking exactly like me, so either way, I can't get rid of him. I've tried. But back to the whole stepfather thing, like this is the one disagreement I have with what you just said. A lot of what these chicks that you were talking to said dumb, like you said, modern feminist nonsense. Like you're going to take all the responsibility but get none of the credit type of nonsense, which that's not how it works. I'm not going to be the one pretending to be dad, but when it comes time to do dad shit, I'm not allowed to do it. No, we don't play those games. Either I'm all or nothing. What I will say is it's not a sucker's bet if you go in knowing what you're going in for. Like when you go in, you got to know the pitfalls of that whole situation. The bonuses are always going to be evident. You have this kid that looks up to you. Like I was thinking about this earlier, and I didn't send it to you, but I was gonna. Who do you feel worse for? Shaquille O'Neal's deadbeat dad or LeBron James's deadbeat dad? Because they both had
for either of them, actually.
That's my thing. Shaquille O'Neal had a stepfather who stepped in and taught him how to be a good man. He praises him all the time.
Right.
I don't know if LeBron did. I'm pretty sure he did. But Shaq talked about it constantly as he was playing, constantly after his playing days, constantly all the time about the guy who raised him. He made a stupid song about it. Biological didn't bother.
Right.
And he had his
boy to a
stepfather
man.
Yeah, he had a stepfather in the video. That's the bonus that's obvious. You raise this kid, he becomes successful, and you stepped up and took over another weaker man's priority. There's no better feeling. You stepped up and took over the responsibility of someone who was weaker than you. It's like claiming territory.
Counterpoint.
Okay, go.
I'm supposed to give a shit because on the extremely unlikely probability that this kid's gonna grow up to be a fucking NBA
No, that's
star.
the extreme. I said success. I didn't say he's going to be the best NBA center of all time. I said to make him a success. A success could be he doesn't go to jail. He lives a productive life. A success would be she's not on the pole. That's a success to me. Like those are, it doesn't need to be this guy runs Con Edison. He's the CEO of Con Ed or he runs Microsoft one day. No, it doesn't have to be that major. But that's the obvious pluses.
Unless that's what's going to happen, I ain't doing it.
But that's the point. You never know. And to me, like I said, I always look at it like this. Like it's claiming terror. It's Genghis Khan shit. You're claiming someone's territory because they weren't man enough to take care of it. And you're doing it right, and then you're moving on.
But the only territory I really care about claiming, I already
he did that too. That's part of Genghis Khan's history. That's why we all have some of his DNA in us.
Right.
But that's the dichotomy. It's never going to be a perfect situation. You got to go in, like I always tell people all the time, you got to give 90% of yourself to a situation. You got to leave that extra 10% for you because it might fuck up. Like you can't devote 100% to this stepfather situation, knowing in 3 years, you and the wife or the girlfriend may fall out, and now you may never be able to see those kids again.
Right. And that's the thing.
That's the danger of it.
That's my issue. And this happens so much more often than people want to talk about or admit, is what some women will do is never get married again after that, and make sure that you are footing the bill until this kid is 18, no matter what. Because unless she actually gets married and then there's a new guy to actually sign on the dotted line, and now he actually legally assumes responsibility, that check's going to her.
Depending on the situation, again, if you take over guardianship, yes. But if you're just the guy that lives in the house, no, it doesn't work that way. You're not legally responsible. There's no state on the planet that has that rule. The only way that happens is if, again, you're married and she has a baby and you signed for it, which means you're taking over the responsibility. Or two, you marry and basically adopt that child. If you don't do either of those things, you're scot-free. But again, that's still what you said is still a pitfall, because again, what I get from you is it's like you're raising a dog from puppy to like 7 years old, and then the dog runs away and you never get to see it again. That's the fear from if I'm getting what I'm getting from you.
No, it's more like I get this dog from however old until it's 5, 6 years old, and then it runs away, but I still have to monthly buy dog food.
But that's the thing, you don't have to do that unless marriage or adoption or guardianship comes into play.
Okay, but she's going to push for that. And it's basically you're either, if you don't sign the dotted line and do that, y'all are breaking up.
You are absolutely right.
She's
and
going
whose
to
job
look for someone else who's going to take care of the kid.
You
Why?
are 100%
Because she's already,
right.
She's
Whose
already
job
proven,
is it to stop that?
She's already proven that she's not a responsible person and makes bad choices. So she's going.
Yeah, lack of guidance. I'm not going to say. What do I always say? You got to train your good. You got to train your bitch. Yeah. You got to train your woman. This is an army. You met a cadet. You train her ass to be a lieutenant and a sergeant.
Yeah.
But whose job is it as the general to say, no, we're not doing this? Ours. That's part of the gig. Like if she's okay.
You
prime example.
Be willing to take the L on it, like
Patrice. You got to walk in every position ready to lose.
To lose her.
Yeah, you got to be. Yes, the Godfather has said it. I've repeated it multiple times. You need to walk into every relationship ready to lose. Because if you're ready to lose, you're okay with losing her. Yep. You can't be held hostage because of oh well, what if she leaves? That's gonna change every decision you make, and it's gonna change them sometimes for the worse. That's like being held hostage. You as a man, I'll give. I don't know if we talked about this on the on the show before, but there was a podcast I was listening to. This black guy, he's on a few shows, and it's him and his wife, and he was talking about. Yeah, we did talk about it. He was talking about being sexually frustrated with his wife, and he was asking why did she push for marriage if she wasn't prepared to please him sexually every time he wanted it? And she said, well, I didn't know it was going to be this much. Like I wasn't prepared for it. If I'd known then, like I know now, maybe I wouldn't have pushed for marriage.
That is
and
a
he's
lie.
like, yeah, he was like, but you did. That's irrelevant. You did. And I gave you what you want, but now I'm suffering because I want to have sex all these times. And you don't have the sex drive to keep up with me, which is fine. But because I've signed this document, I can't just go have sex with a random woman. So why did, and he posed a logical question. Why do women push monogamy if you're not prepared to do the results of what monogamy costs, which is keeping me sexually satisfied? I don't blame her for that argument. I blame him for not educating his woman. I blame him for capitulating to the enemy. He gave in to terrorism. What do we do as the United States? We don't give in to terrorists.
Fact.
She said, if you don't marry me, I'm going to leave. She gave him a deadline. Okay, bye.
I think actually you just touched
where you going to find another me?
You touched on a really good point and an overall arcing sort of theme here. The reality is we push men. Our country, our society, the Western world pushes men into situations where they can commit to things, sign the dotted line without properly educating these men on what they're getting into and what it
100%.
means to sign that dotted line. We do it with marriage, we do it with jobs, we do it with education,
We just do it with relationships.
we do it with
You ain't gotta go to
cars,
marriage.
we do it with everything.
Yes, owning a gun, driving a car, getting a prescription filled, anything is going to have some type of paperwork attached to it that, if done wrong, is going to put you in a bad situation.
Yeah.
So that's my point. It's this isn't the 40s. Like, the internet exists. It's your job to find this stuff out.
Yeah.
There's hundreds of podcasts, there's hundreds of articles, there's hundreds of
You'd be listening
newsletters.
to Rob and Ace.
There you go. We do this show once or twice a week. Yeah, there's information out there. It's your job to get it. Like, I deal with the buying public every single day for 8 to 13 hours per day. People are idiots.
Yep.
And they want to be spoon-fed. They don't want to go and work for the information. They want the information spoon-fed to them.
And I think the big issue I have with it is not so much, because I understand what you're saying.
Mhm.
I think there is a hostility that people internally have when the narrative is questioned, and they're going to think either I'm a misogynist, or on the flip side, they're going to say your point of view and say, oh, well, he's a chump or a simp or whatever. I, having known you for probably more than 10 years,
It's been at least 20.
you are not a simp. You have
Thank
a
you.
history of simpitude, but you are not currently at present day.
Yes, when I've openly admitted it. From age birth to maybe 28, I was super simp.
Yes.
Super simp.
And every man has dabbled in simpery.
Yeah, any man who says he wasn't a simp at one point he's lying.
I don't care if you were simping when you were 13 and you learned game at 16. You still had a couple of years of simpatico,
Of putting the pussy on a pedestal. Absolutely.
Yes.
Until you learn better, and some men don't ever learn.
Right.
But my issue isn't that. My issue is the information's out there. It's your job to do it. Like, it's your job to get it. If you are walking into a situation that has bad things that could happen to you, and you don't learn what those bad things are before getting into the situation, look, that's on you. You jumped without a parachute.
Yeah.
Fucking fall, die.
You got to really dig deep and find out what the pros and cons are. If you are involved with a woman who happens to be a single mom, you have to do all of the research. It is on you to know what you're getting into, because she's not going to tell you. She's not.
No.
She's going to tell you 2 out of 10 issues to deal with.
She's going to tell you like Apple tells you the terms and conditions.
Yeah,
you press okay, motherfucker. That's all you get.
That was fantastic. She's going to tell you, my baby daddy ain't shit. That's all you need to know. That's all she's going to tell you. She's not going to tell you his side of the story. She's not going to tell you what actually happened. There's none of that information is being given to you. You have to do the research. And sometimes you got to look at her in the face and be like, you need to tell me the truth or I'm dipping. And you got to sacrifice the relationship. On the flip side,
it's heat. We talked about, it's the heat analogy from The Godfather, from Patrice O'Neal. You have to be willing to get out of a situation within 15 minutes or less, or don't get into that situation at all. The analogy is you got to be ready to take that L.
That's mean. You don't believe in love. You don't believe in Listen.
The fuck does love have to do with relationships?
There it is.
Does love have to do with commitment?
There it is.
Love is a bonus.
Because like I said, like on the argument I was having, I get all this pushback as though I hate women or I hate single moms. I'm indifferent to single moms. I'm saying I wouldn't date
You're
one.
I'm indifferent. I don't give a shit about you said that. You said that like I talk about gay people and their rights. Like I don't care. Do what you want to do. I don't care.
Find
Fucking
someone,
care.
date them. I don't know what you
Yeah.
want me to do.
You want to be rights? All right, go get them. I don't
Yeah.
knock some out, soldier. I don't
Listen,
care.
listen. What do I keep saying? Like my
You want a month in June? June? Go ahead, knock yourself out. I don't
there you
care.
go. But like, what do I say all the time? Date an older guy. All women should be trying to date older guys until you're like old yourself. You know what I mean? But like, if you have a kid or more, if you have more than one kid, an older guy's not going to want no more kids. You're good. Boom. Problem solved. What I'm saying is I'm 39, I'm going to be 40 soon, right? And whether I am my age now or when I was in my from 20 to 40, I would say even from 20 to 50, men out there, if you're in the dating world, and our previous episode that we just put out is all about the dating market and how miserable it is. But if you're in the dating world, I, as a man, don't recommend dating a single mom until you're past a certain age.
So, okay, get why. You're telling us you don't want to give me the whys.
Just because if you avoid them, you avoid everything we were just talking about. Like, you don't have to do the research. You don't have to, because you know what? Whether you're dating a single mom or a woman with no kids, you already have to do enough research. Otherwise, you got to vet her to make sure she's worthy of commitment in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And she's already got points against her if she has kids. Now, that does not mean that there are not great women who happen to have children, who happen to have made mistakes when they were younger, who happen to have made bad choices. Guess what? Women make bad choices when they don't have positive masculine guidance. Period. There is no fucking exception to this. Ever. They're going to make garbage choices when it comes to men if they don't have positive masculine guidance in their life. That's just the way it is. Your job, be that guidance. She's been looking for it. She wants it. She wants that guidance.
And here's my counterpoint to that. I don't, and this is the beauty of two men talking. I'm cool with, it's not like, oh, well, you got to do what I say or else you're wrong. No, you have your preference. That's cool.
Which is exactly what I was running into this past weekend.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I let it, because I know you were dealing with that, because that's what happens when you have those large female conversations. It's either you're with the majority or you're wrong. But you just have your own preference.
And the crazy thing is, I'm going to describe the table I was sitting at. Okay.
Fred Sanford's neighbor.
One woman was
Ricky Ricardo's neighbor,
essentially raised by her grandmother because her mom had 3 different kids by 3 different guys, and then the third guy was like a horrible stepdad. Basically, her mom made terrible choices. Her dad was basically a womanizer. And then I think the other two I didn't really know that well at the table, but they were just in unison because women are a hive mind when this happens. Telling me how wrong I was for having that opinion, and they were just
for having an opinion that's different than other people. Yeah,
right, for having an opinion that men don't benefit in any way from being a stepdad unless you are Shaquille O'Neal or LeBron James' stepdad. You know what I mean? Unless you really like, unless your whole thing is you enjoy being a part of a family and you have no issue extending that family. Unless that's you, like you, for example, that's not an issue for you.
No, because again, when I went into the situation, I knew full well what the pitfalls could be. I didn't
Yeah.
go in saying, you know what, everything's going to be peaches and cream, this, that, and the third. It is what it is. Like I know full well that if me and my woman split up, there is a 99.9% chance I'll never see the little girl again.
Mm-hmm.
The son is never, I'm probably never going to see him again. That's fine. But I'm pretty sure I'll never see the little girl. You know why. Legally, I won't speak about it.
Right.
But that's something like, again, you got to be ready to take that L. I'm cool. Like I'm already in that mode. Like I can take that L. I know, even though I invested in this child and X, Y, and Z, it didn't work out, whatever. For the time being, I made this little girl's life better.
Yeah.
Hopefully that lasts.
And you're good
hopefully,
with that.
Yeah. Hopefully she becomes a better citizen because of that. If not, I tried. And I'm good with it. I'm good with it if it happens. I'd be better if it didn't happen, but I'm good with it if it happens.
Right. And the point I was trying to drive was that there's a lot of men out there who think that they'll be okay with that, who think that that's gonna that they can take that L, and then when it happens, they can't take the L, and it messes them up. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm trying to get.
Yeah, I'm
avoid.
And
like,
I
you got to know that about yourself.
Yeah, I don't have those feelings. I'm a robot. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'll move on. There's enough pussy in the world. I'll fill that hole. It's like,
oh, I don't. That's not even the L I mean. I mean the.
No,
L
I know the L you mean. The L is losing. Basically, you're losing a child.
Right.
But here's my point.
I can barely handle losing a pet.
It's the Patrice O'Neal thing. He talked about, and he related to his girl. I related to any loss. He talked about if he lost his girl, he said, my girl is worth 6 women to me. That means if she left me, I have to go get 6 different women to fill the void that she leaves. She took it as an insult. He meant it as a compliment. Like that's how valuable you are. You're worth as much as 6 different women. That's what I would do in any situation, any type of heartbreak. I don't get to see this girl. I guess I'm fucking about 17 chicks. This pain is going to get filled in a lot of different holes. This pain is going to go up inside a lot of chicks.
You made that
until I don't feel that pain anymore.
Right. You got to fill that void somehow. You got to bury it in you.
Yeah, and I'm gonna bury it deep inside that ass. That's exactly what's going to happen.
That's what it is. But so I do have a question though.
Okay.
Do you think you personally would be as easy with your current situation in that you have your girlfriend is a single mom? Do you and you bear some responsibility sometimes over
majority of it? I have more than her.
Right. like so it's like extra kids and you have a good relationship with her kids and everything. Do you think you'd be just as willing had you not already had your own kid from a previous marriage? Yes,
for a bunch of different reasons. One, I've dated women that had kids before. Okay. When I didn't have a son. I don't, again, because when that light bulb went off, when the Simperi switch went off, it didn't just like all of a sudden, I still thought the same way as I did before. I was like, okay, I know going in X, Y, and Z, and if this woman's worth it, I'm okay with maybe taking a loss. I looked at it like gambling. I had a bad gambling history,
right,
and sometimes good gambling history, but mostly bad gambling history.
Right.
I looked at it as going to Vegas or going to a casino. When you walk into a casino, smart gamblers take a certain amount of money, spend that certain amount of money, and if they lose it all, they leave. Bad gamblers dwell on the loss, take out more money, lose more money, then take out more money, lose more money. That's how casinos always win.
Yeah.
They don't win on the smart gamblers. They win on the dummies, the people who can't stop losing. If I go and say, you know what, I got $1,000, I'm just going to spend this $1,000, that's it. And in 20 minutes, that $1,000 is gone. I guess I'm out in 20 minutes. That's how I looked at those stepfather situations, dating women with I know the pitfall is there. If it's worth it, I'm gonna keep pursuing it. And if it's not, I got some ass. That's how I looked at it.
Oh, just came back down to that.
But it's the truth. Like
Right.
it's like Kevin Samuels has said a lot of times. Like, are you finding men that will date you, or finding men that will just fuck you? There are some single moms, sorry ladies, Buckley's time, that are only worth a fuck. You're not worth a relationship because you don't know how to be in a relationship. That's why you're not in a relationship now. So those are the women that I would start off like, and we know quick, ladies, just see inside information. We get to know fast whether we going to wife you up or fuck you.
Yep.
We know within the first date. Just like you know within the first date whether you're going to fuck us, we know in the first date whether we're going to have a relationship with you. And if she fails,
well, some of us, there's a lot of us who don't know that, but
I'm talking to the pros out there. I'm talking
guys
about
like
most guys.
Guys like us. We know.
Yes,
we know.
I'm talking about the people who are experienced in dating, who not new guys, not guys still living in Simpville. Right. I'm talking about most guys can see the potential quick. We know when
you're a street fighter.
Yeah. We know when you need to be kicked to the curb.
We'll give you that Hadouken out of my face.
Yeah, we know we gotta press the quarter circle forward. We know what it is. But when we meet some of these women, again, just because you got a kid don't mean you can't get this dick. Sorry. Sorry.
Right.
And and look, be thankful is my dick, because I'm gonna be honest about it. I'm gonna tell you the truth up front. Some guys are going to lead you into thinking you're going to get a relationship out of it and get nothing but heartache.
Right.
But if a guy is limiting himself because, you have a kid, it might not be just the kid. It might be you too. You got to overcompensate for that. This is advice for women. Like, if you have a child, it is not a negative to you, but like Rob just said, it's a negative to the potential man, because that's a hurdle that he doesn't have to jump.
Right.
You're just adding. It's like if we go in all the 200-meter race and you all of a sudden throw a hurdle in front of me. Like, I didn't have to have this and nobody else has this. Well, I got to jump over this hurdle. So you got to work extra hard to make me want to jump over that hurdle.
Right. So again, if we're going back to the dating market, the reality is, because I remember, I think we had a conversation once where you were saying, like, you were okay with dating a single mom because you're like, it's 2021 and I'm in my 40s. If I am dating someone, there's a huge chance there's already going to have a kid.
Almost 100% chance she's going to have a kid.
Now,
almost 100%.
Now that depends on the age range in which you're dating, because men out here, is particularly men of a certain status, can just keep dating younger, and younger women are less likely to have kids.
True. And I've always said I'm the anomaly. I don't like young chicks. I don't like young women. I am an anomaly.
But you found that out
as I got older
by dating some young chicks.
No, I found that out as I got older and working with younger women, not even dating them, just working with them.
Oh, God.
Working with them was enough for me to not want to date them.
I remember.
Because will I fuck them? 100%. That's not a question. Seriously date them? Hell no. Because number one, what are we going to have in common? Two, what are we ever going to talk about? Three, you don't even know how to manage yourself. How are you going to help manage my life? Like, how am I going to incorporate you into Ford and Consolidated?
Right.
You're not going to be able to get into my company and help me with my company. I've said this analogy, you have to treat yourself like a Fortune 500 company. Right. You are not going to be able to get into my company with no background skills, with no work life experiences.
CEO,
you're not even going to get into the mailroom like that. You're not going to get hired. You'll get interviewed, which is that fucking, but you're not going to get hired. Everybody gets an interview. Look, you send me the resume, I'm gonna get you an interview.
You put the ad out. I mean, you sent the resume.
I went on Career Builders. I saw the resume. Looked nice, but you ain't getting this job.
Logged into Indeed. I said, let me give them a chance.
Yeah, I'll give you a chance in the bedroom, and then after that, you gotta go. You weren't qualified.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't like young women. Second part is they don't know shit sexually. That's another thing. You know me. I need a woman with experience. I'm not trying to teach somebody nothing. I need you coming in with some basic training. No,
Right.
no, I don't want to hear no ouches when I'm trying to do what I got to do.
That college prep is just not enough.
No, it ain't. It ain't. You need real life experience.
The on-the-job training.
No, I can't. There's no. I don't want to. Well, I don't do that. Well, the fuck you doing it now?
Well, that's the thing. That's the funny.
It's happening. So you can get on board or not.
That's what it is with an older woman. It's like they're gonna still tell you that, but you're gonna look at them dead in the eye and be like, "Are you serious? Like, you're 38 and you have a kid. You've done it. You've liked it. You're doing it."
That's another thing. With older women, we're going off on a tangent, but I love these tangents. With older women, they fucking. There's no game playing with older women. There's no playing coy. There's no, I don't want to, maybe I do this. I don't like, I might tell my girlfriends I don't do that, but I secretly do, but only for guys I like. Nah.
No.
You 35, you better take this dick any way it comes.
Let me tell you something. There was this movie. I think it was called Baby Mama, actually. It was Tina Fey. And,
yeah. I don't think I saw the whole thing, but I know somebody.
Hilarious movie. And she's on a date with Greg Kinnear, and they're doing the whole coy, like, I don't know, should I invite you upstairs or this, that, and the other? And he's like, I was thinking of inviting you upstairs. And she just goes, yeah, I'm 37. We're going.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's the beauty of
like, I know what this is. I'm 37.
I'd say past 34.
Yeah.
The games stop. There's none of that nonsense game playing bullshit, because one, you're playing poker with somebody who's showing you their cards. And by cards, I mean, I know you're past. You got a kid. You fucked at least 5 dudes. By 34, it's bound to be past that number. You may have a marriage under your belt. Let's stop playing these games. Like, come on, drop them jaws. Let's not do this. And when we're having sex,
went to college.
I don't want to hear what you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Let me take this magic wand in your butt and feel good about it.
Oh, you ruined it. You're having such a professional.
Look, I can't. When it comes to that topic, I have no couth with it. Like, I don't want to hear nonsense game playing. Like, I told you about a situation about a female we both worked with who was super into me.
Yeah.
We were cool as shit. I would always look out for her at the job. We would go to lunch all the time. This, that, and the third. She's bringing up the fact that her and her boyfriend are on the rocks. Cool. Entry number 1. We're hanging out. We're kissing. We're doing all this stuff.
I hope men and women are listening right now, because this is the game right here.
Yeah. And again, I'm what I would say maybe 29, 28, 29 at the time, maybe. She's maybe 21, 22. So she's a lot younger than me. We were hanging out, we're kissing. She's at my place. She's on my bed. That's cardinal sin number 1. You're on my goddamn bed. Things are supposed to happen at this point. So we're doing all the stuff, and she wants to stop and slow down because she's not ready, and she's just getting over the breakup, and I still have feelings for my ex, and this, that, and the third, and blah, 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 nonsense. So I don't pursue it because, again, I'm not catching a rape thief. All right, go ahead. Leave. I'm not going to fight you to leave. I'm not going to beg. I'm not going to pull an Aziz Ansari and beg you to suck my dick. It's not going to happen.
You should have called another girl right in front of her.
No, that happened like 2 seconds after she left. There was somebody that came out.
Could have called right in front of her.
There was someone who came quickly. Trust me. There was that. I always have a backup.
Did she also work at the same call center?
Yes, she did. That's besides the point. I cleaned up at that job. That's
I know exactly who it is.
But
or actually, I don't. It could be.
It could have been a lot of people. We're not going to talk about that.
One of 3 or 4 that I think.
Or 10. Besides the point. That's besides the point. We're not going to talk about numbers. But the point is, this is what young women do, and it's again something the Godfather said. Younger women want to be fucked more than they actually want to fuck. They want that desire, that, oh, this guy wants me feeling more than they actually want to fuck. That's where the game plays come. That's where all the games come in. Older women just want to fuck. They don't want that feeling. They want the actual orgasm. They don't want the games. They don't want the nonsense. They understand that their currency is running out. Younger women have a super crazy financial portfolio when it comes to the dating market. They know that they have leverage, so they play games. Older women don't. And I respect them for it. That's why they all get a magic wand. Favorite gift to give out.
Brought to you by
They need to sponsor me. Not even the show, just me for how many of those goddamn things I bought.
just wear a shirt with a magic wand.
Their logo should be my face.
Yeah.
It should be on every single model.
So I think the driving point here, because initially the concept was maybe like a versus or a where you're defending dating single moms and being a stepdad, and I'm retracting or fighting against it. I'm not saying don't do it. You know what I mean? I'm saying I wouldn't do it. And
that's everybody's got their preferences.
Yeah, and that for some reason is so offensive to people.
But it's only offensive to women.
It shouldn't be, because I'm one person.
But do you understand
why? All you have to do is just not date me and you're good.
But do you understand why it's offensive to women?
No, because
they're a hive mind.
Right.
It's the same reason Kevin Samuel's show has 15,000 viewers every single night, and 14,000 of them are angry women
who learn nothing,
who would just call in to argue and don't really have arguing skills, and they're arguing for a point that has nothing to do with them.
Right.
It's like, how many times has he had a clip out where it was a woman who said she's happily married, and he says every single time, why are you even on this show? You don't have a dog in this fight anymore. You're happily married, right? What does it matter to you?
Right.
Because it's that hive mind mentality. How dare you mistreat another woman?
It's called sisterhood uber alles.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
That's sisterhood.
You just spoke some dead language to me.
Yeah.
And I rebuke you.
Is dead.
It's a goddamn dead language. I rebuke you. We speak American here, goddamn it.
Hey, USA. We should close out on real American.
We speak American here, goddamn it. But my point is, it's the general same point. Like, men don't give a fuck what you do to other men, to a point. Unless it's super fucked up. Like if a woman is screwing a guy over in a divorce, yeah, we get upset about that, even though it's got nothing to do with us. If a woman is cheating on a man and like breaking his heart, yeah, we get upset about that. But when it comes to preferences, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, you don't want to date a short guy?
I'm 5'8".
You don't want to date a fat guy? Okay. You don't want to date a broke guy? Cool.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we were like, yeah, he's a fucking loser. He should have money.
The only thing I get on women a little bit about is the height thing. Cause I'm like, listen, a broke guy should do what he can to make more money. A fat guy should lose weight. A short guy, he's got no choice. He's got no skin in the game.
He's got to do something to compensate for that shortness.
Right. He's got to get in shape. He's got to get in even more shape.
He's got to get in shape or get a lot of money.
Right. You know what I mean?
Kevin Hart gets Kevin Hart.
The exact example I was going to give was Kevin Hart in crazy shape, has a lot of money. Boom.
And he fucks.
Straight smoke show of a wife.
It's yep. Wife number 2. Wife number 1 was the smoke show too.
Yeah.
And
he has a type.
He cheated on smoke shows too. Why? Because he's Kevin fucking Hart. That's why.
Yeah. He lets them know straight up.
Like this is the ultimate lesson I want to give for guys in the stepfather situation. And we might close it out on this one because we've been running for a while. Unless you got more to add.
No, I think we're at the home stretch.
Part of taking that L is understanding that where's she gonna get another you? It's like all these man shows, some of them I like, some of them I don't, but they all have the same general tone that, guys, you're the lottery ticket. you got to look at yourself like that. Like, okay. Kevin Hart's wife, he cheated on her. Where is she right now? Oh, pregnant with his third kid or fourth kid. Why didn't she leave? Because he's Kevin fucking Hart. Where's she going to find another Kevin Hart? She can find another guy. Nobody's saying she can't. And it's dumb for you to think that the woman that leaves you can't get another guy.
Of course.
Can she get another you?
Right.
That's the issue. And it's not even about monetary
You're
status.
supposed to really build yourself to be.
You were supposed, thank you. I was just about to say, you're supposed to be that guy that if she leaves you, she's like, fuck, I'm screwed.
Right.
This is going to be bad. I say it all the time to my ex-wife, and it's not a bragging thing. My ex-wife is beautiful. She could get another man, but she can't get another me. There's a lot of dirty secrets that we shared. There's a lot of dirtiness that happened. She ain't gonna get a regular dude that just does stuff that I used to do. I told you about a woman who texted me after 2.5 years of not speaking and then reached out to me trying to get back in good graces. And I didn't tell you this, but sent me texts about how I was the best sexual experience she's ever had. And I initiated to our famous gang that we started and all this other stuff. And no other guy has ever done that before and this, that, and the third. You got to be that guy. You got to be that guy that no other guy can compete with. Even if it's not about money, it could be about anything that no guy out there can fuck with what you used to do in this category. That's what makes you the lottery ticket. And that's what puts it in your head that you could be okay to take that L because where's you going to find another me? You can get another dick. I don't care. You can get another guy who got money. I don't care. But you ain't going to get another me. It's like the Godfather said. He's told a great story about he met his ex of his girl. And the dude was trying to break fly. And the people he was telling the story to on the radio show was like, oh, did you get in an argument? He's like, no, I don't give a shit. And he was like, oh, like, what are you gonna say? He fucked her? Okay, but did you stick a head in the toilet? Did you choke the shit out of her? Did you spit in her face? Did you do all this other nasty shit I do too? No. So did you really fuck her? No, you didn't.
Just handful of hair, but pulling the head back completely.
Yeah.
She's looking upside down.
Did you fuck her in outside of a window? Did she have to contemplate death and orgasm at the same time? No. Did you really fuck her?
Did you put her in a tombstone position?
Yeah. Did you like
the goddamn Undertaker?
That's my point. Like if you have that mentality, there's no jealousy. There's none of that other because she was like, well, she ain't gonna get nothing me. And that's what gives you that power of being able to take that L, being able to walk away from that situation. It's the same power young chicks have. Young women have that power over men because they know they can just get another dude to fill your spot. It's not hard for them. When you become an established man, it's the same. It's not hard for an established man to get into a relationship. It's actually really easy because we control the power.
Right.
All it is getting a good interview, having a good candidate, boom, you off to the races.
Yeah, all you gotta do is hire the person. That's it.
Yeah, we can get into a relationship like y'all can get sex.
Yeah,
we can get a I love you like you can get dick. When you're established, that's part of the game. So that's why you shouldn't have that hang up on the whole stepfather thing. That's how I'm coming. Yeah. That's how I see it, at least.
So then I'll give a little bit more of my perspective to end on it because this is more personal in that like I see it from this way. Like I don't have kids, right? So I'm not putting forth any resources or time or personal investment
into a kid that's not yours.
In someone else. It's more than just the idea of the concept of a kid that's not mine. It's in some other man's sperm.
Somebody's boots.
I'm not doing that when I don't have a kid of my own yet to do that for. You know what I mean?
I get that. That's why I say it. I understand your preference because I understand where it's coming from.
That doesn't mean that I wouldn't see it as a noble act. Although I do think most people, most women particularly, who engage in this type of relationship don't see it as that noble of an act and don't appreciate the
No,
stepdad.
we're 100% in agreement with that. 100%
Um,
agreement.
But it should be really celebrated, you know.
Because they look at their investment like it's your investment. Like, I love my child, so you should also love my child. No, your child's a piece of shit.
Can I
don't
beat
know
your
this
kid's
kid.
ass
Yeah, like I don't know
when they
kid.
fucking act up?
Yeah, that's where I'm coming from. Like, they look at, you should respect their kid because they respect their kid. No, I have nothing to do with this kid. So, and you know what? There's a lot of bad parents, which make a lot of bad kids. Just because you like your kid doesn't mean I'm automatically going to like them. I have to learn to like them, just like I had to learn to like you.
Right.
They don't get a free pass just because they came out of your vagina. I don't give that, nothing to do with me. So
Now,
I'm on your side 100% on that point. There's no disagreement.
and I don't think a man who does enter a relationship with a single mom who ends up a stepdad is by default a chump. I do not think that. But I do think that that chump status happens long before you actually even date the woman. It's when you don't know this ahead of time and you just get into a relationship not prepared.
Yeah.
And you are by not preparing, you are in fact preparing to enter that chump status when you do meet one of these women.
You are
But
jumping out of a plane.
If you listened to this, if you listened to this episode, because it's like we said, we're not a part of this this manosphere. If you look up stepdad stuff, and you look up the guys like maybe like Richard Cooper or some of these manosphere guys, they're going to tell you you're an absolute fool for dating a single mom. They're going to tell you you're a complete chump and to just never do it like that, that it's impossible for you to ever find happiness. And I don't think that's necessarily correct. If you listen to our episode of this show today, you might actually be able to arm yourself properly should you enter the dating market. This may not be for the young guys. This might be for a guy who's been divorced and he's in his 50s and he's ready to date again. You're going to run into women with kids. It's just the way it is. So arm yourself properly instead of poorly.
Know what you're getting into. Be prepared.
Because
other than that, there's nothing else you can do.
It's like you said, like experience is what teaches men. But there are men who don't have enough experience who maybe at least listening to us will give that heads up. I mean, I know that life has to give it to you also, but I just want to guide.
Life doesn't
guiding.
Life doesn't have to give it to you.
Right. It doesn't have to be.
I don't need to know what a car crash feels like. I've seen videos.
Right.
Like, you know why I don't ride motorcycles? Because I've seen motorcycle crashes. I don't need to experience it for myself to be like, hey, maybe I shouldn't do that.
I'm still getting a motorcycle.
I'm okay. I'll go to your funeral. I have no problem doing that. I have no problem. Can I have your Xbox when you die? Because that's how I look at those.
Literally in the will.
They're death bikes. That's what they are. If you go into them knowing that they're death bikes, by all means, it's your life living. I don't care. But they're death bikes. They're fast death machines.
They're death bikes to jerk offs who like to go fast.
You're on a bicycle going 90.
Don't go 90
with a piece of plastic on your head, thinking it's going to save you.
No, I would never do that. No.
That's why I'm saying, like,
I get a Harley. I'd go maybe 50 miles an hour tops. I would take it on like.
See, but you're still going to die if you hit something. But that's at least safer. A Harley is definitely safer.
Plus, it's a man's bike, so.
Yeah, Harleys are definitely not the little rockets, not the zippy ones. Those are. This ain't biker boys.
This isn't a Vin Diesel film.
Yeah, I've got nothing to do with those. But my point is simple: you don't have to experience trauma to learn from that trauma. There's enough people in the world that have done everything. Somebody on this planet's fucked up in a way you're about to fuck up. Learn from them first, so that way you don't fuck up that way.
Right.
You don't need to get herpes. Put on a condom. And you don't need to get herpes to know how to not get herpes. Same thing.
Yes. we are comparing other people's kids to herpes.
I mean, you did that, but that's what.
Well, yes, I did.
I just said I fuck baby mamas. That's all I said. All right, so everybody, we are going to wrap this show up. Again, I want you guys to like, subscribe, do all those good things. We are going to come back with another episode soon. You guys enjoy yourself. Take it easy.
Be excellent.